Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Chris Weidenbar, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Air Force is Pilot Officer Travis McKee. We warmly welcome the family of Sergeant Thomas Colin Wills, whose story will be told shortly. We're honoured to acknowledge His Excellency Wahidullah Waisi, Ambassador of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan to Australia, together with the visiting delegation of Afghan leading women. We also welcome the Australian Tourism Export Council delegation who are in attendance this evening. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria and RSL Queensland who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by family and by visitors to the memorial. I now invite all present to please stand and join in singing the Australian National Anthem. Thank you. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's first World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway lands. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, flowers of the forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Sergeant Thomas Colin Wills. Thomas Wills was born on the 3rd of February 1912 in Orange, New South Wales. The son of Alfred and Olive Wills, he had a brother John and a sister Ruth. After attending North Sydney Boys High School, Thomas Wills studied accountancy at the Metropolitan Business College. Wills enjoyed football, sailing, golf and swimming, and lived with his family at Manly while working as a senior costing clerk at Tooth & Co. The company was a major beer brewer in New South Wales and had a large brewery on Broadway in Sydney. Wills had been with the company for some time, having previously worked as a junior clerk and as secretary to the advertising manager. He also had experience in the militia, having served time active with the 5th Heavy Brigade. In November 1940, at the age of 28, Thomas Wills enlisted in the Royal Australian Air Force. After some early training at Narrandera on the 21st of March 1941, he embarked at Sydney for overseas service. As part of the Empire Air Training Scheme, Wills was one of almost 27,500 Royal Australian Air Force pilots, navigators, wireless operators and gunners who, throughout the course of the war, joined squadrons based in Britain. Wills trained as a pilot in Calgary, Canada, and on the 27th of July 1941 was awarded his flying badge and promoted to sergeant. At the end of August, he embarked for England. In December, he was allotted to an operational training unit at Royal Air Force Thornaby in North Yorkshire. Here, crews trained to join Coastal Command, which was vital in protecting convoys and shipping from the German U-boat force and the Luftwaffe. On the 8th of March 1942, Sergeant Wills was the pilot of a Hudson aircraft undertaking a practice night flight over the sea. The aircraft took off just after 8 p.m. and was not heard from again. 5 air and sea rescue aircraft were sent out at daylight, but the search proved fruitless. Sergeant Thomas Wills, Sergeant I.S. Wolfe, Sergeant P.C. Bucknell, Sergeant D.M. Hall were all presumed dead. Thomas Wills was 30 years old. Today, he is commemorated on the Runnymede Memorial, sometimes known as the Air Force's Memorial, which commemorates more than 20,000 airmen and women who were lost in the Second World War during operations from bases in the United Kingdom and North and Western Europe, and who have no known grave. His name is listed on the Rule of Honour on my left. Amongst almost 40,000 Australians who died while serving in the Second World War, his photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Sergeant Thomas Colin Wills, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn them. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them. lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. We thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening.